Previously, we got to enjoy the entire Valley of the Gods in Mexican Hat. Unfortunately, that was the last easy day we had. The next coming days are definitely going to try my skills at field repair and overcoming personal will to quit and things that go wrong on the trail, but are all the reason why we do the adventure as we do solo.
What's up, guys? I'm having to backtrack a little bit. So I drove just, I guess, would be east from Valley of the Gods, not far, 20 or so miles to a town called Bluff, Utah, and was filling up and realized that the entire spare tire bracket and table are gone. I guess I should have built that myself too. But the welds held, the metal just peeled right off. So it's the spare to the trailer. The table is something I can rebuild at any point in time. The mount is something I will rebuild. But the tire, I kind of need the tire. So yeah, I'm on the hunt right now to find this guy. Hopefully I can. Hopefully nobody's absconded with it, but I guess we'll see shortly. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. The adventure continues. Well, crisis avoided, guys. So I found a spare, and I can see why. This metal is thin. That's not sufficient enough to hold a 33-inch tire. It's just not this big MT. Let's go see what happened here. Oh yeah, you can see. So what it did is I put this gusset in here hoping that it would strengthen that. I felt like it was weak, but you see what it did. It tore right through that metal. It's 1/8. Wow, I'm disappointed in those guys. Tiny Camper Company. Something like this shouldn't be made out of 1/8. Okay, well, let's get it loaded. I did find a camp table. Camp table, look at that. Just fine, little road rash, he's good to go. So, let's get him loaded and let's get rolling. All right, guys, so this is called Combs Wash. And supposedly, it takes me from the highway coming out of Bluff, Utah, that joins to Utah, Mexican Hat, Utah. It takes me along Combs Bluff, or Combs Ridge, rather. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is totally different than everywhere we've been. Now, I know that in front of me, that you're seeing right there, looks like possibly dirt, but it's actually not. It's rock. It's hard as a rock. You couldn't sink a shovel in that if you had to. Anyway, I could have gone the highways all the way around, but we don't do that, right? So I found this road, and it seems to be pretty well maintained, this portion of it anyway. And supposedly this takes me all the way up to the highway that I need to get to, that adjoins to Arches National Park. Now, fast forward. After shortly I got off the highway, I noticed that I started getting some death wobble. Checked my both upper control arms, they looked good. Everything was tied in the way it should be. So nothing was loose there. I checked all the steering components, all was pretty stiff there. But I did notice that I can turn my wheel, and there's movement in the steering wheel left or right before the wheels actually start to turn. So I'm wondering if that steering box is starting to go out. But what I'm gonna do is make my way north so that Monday I can get close to a shop there in Moab. Maybe I can have somebody take a look at it, because again, I can't, by feel, I can't figure it out. Now I'll have all day today and tomorrow to kind of assess it and see if I can't determine what it was. I looked to make sure the steer smarts bracket was tight. So everything that should be tight is tight. There's no movement, anything, and nothing moved. Everything is still in the same spot. You can tell with the dirt. So I don't know. We'll see. So we've had some casualties. The factory tire broke off. Tire carrier broke off the back of the trailer. And
190 miles.
Death wobble thing. So I don't know. We'll see what we find out. Anyway, I'm gonna sit back and let you guys enjoy this scenery. Hey guys, I'm just checking in real quick. Still on the same trail. Now it's supposed to be the Davy Combs trail, but there was a Y in it, and because I didn't have cell phone service, I didn't know which one to take. So I just let life go left, right? And I went left, and this is taking me through the most beautiful place you can imagine. And I'm gonna show it all to you guys, but it's definitely gonna make these videos a little longer. But I gotta show you this place. It is absolutely incredible, and it's probably one of the coolest ones I've done so far in Moab and even in Colorado, because the changing of terrain has been incredible, and I'll show you now. So I went from down there in a river bottom and rock to up here in this red clay and this short sagebrush and these little bitty, I'm not sure what pines they are. I don't know if they're juniper pines or whatever, but it smells incredible up here. God, this is what we're talking about overlanding in Utah. This is the kind of trail I would do this over a million times again, because there's several spurs and there's several places to camp in this area, and it's just beautiful. It really is. It's just absolutely beautiful. There was a cutoff right there, and it overlooks a valley. I'm not sure where it goes, but man, this is definitely one of the ones that I think we need to do something with the GPS coordinates, because it's incredible. You gotta check this out, man. Like, this is probably one of the coolest trails I've ever found, and it's definitely a trail. Like, don't let this part of the road fool you. Like, it just got this nice a few minutes ago. I've been on it for probably 45 miles or so, and it was down in the rock and this river bottom and all this stuff, and then that stuff that you saw, and then all of a sudden now it's up in these little pines. And dude, I can't wait till you see this shit. Like, man, and it smells like it is the cleanest air you've ever smelled in your life. And the coolest thing is right now, if I pan right, I can see all the way into Colorado. I'm not sure which big mountain it is, but there's one mountain here that I'm going towards, and then I can see all the way to the mountains in Colorado, and they're all snow-capped right now. It's just like, wow.
Daisies blooming, sundress swaying in the breeze. I can't stop staring. You've put a spell on me, and I hope that you never decide to set me free. The way you're moving got me moving my own feet. The greatest feeling that I could ever dare to dream is you forever moving next to me. Let's not waste time or take this slow. We've got miles behind us but miles to go, so let's just break this down to the simplest truth. You and I as one will always be better than two. leaves ain't waiting. Their colors changing like the times. And I'm taking. Darling, would you be mine? And I hope you know I will love you for the rest of my life. Let's not waste time, oh, take this slow. You got miles behind us, but miles to go. So let's just break this down to the simplest truth. You and I as one will always be better than two. Let's not waste time, oh, take this slow. We've got miles behind us, but miles to go. So let's just break this down to the simplest truth. You and I as one will always be better than two. Yeah, you and I as one will always be better than two.
Check in, guys. It opened up a little bit. It's on this flat rock. I'm kind of just, there's a track here and there. And when I say a track, there is a track. Not multiples for sure. And there's no real clear marking. And again, unfortunately, because I didn't know I was going in this area, I didn't download the Gaia map first. So you have every once in a while a glimmer of service. So every once in a while I try to update it, but this map is just far too grainy to understand how much farther I have to go, or if it ever opens back up to a normal trail. Now, I will say this, it's not horrible. It's definitely technical driving. Some of the obstacles aren't ridiculous or anything. Most obstacles are something like a 4-ish, 5-ish, but it's the technical constant driving. Very sharp hairpin turns around these bushes and trees and old stumps, and very sharp cut wood. So that's the technical part of it. As far as that goes, and driver focus, it's probably a 7, to be honest. The trail's probably a 3-ish, in the worst spots a 4, but as far as driver focus, it honestly is a 7. You are constantly focused on what you're doing. And that's just not just because I have the trailer behind me. That's even navigating the Gladiator around these things because of the length. And again, this was cut for a wagon, so it's super small. I would figure that a 2-door would zip right through here, as far as around the turns and stuff, and all you'd have to do is navigate the obstacles. Again, if I ever make this public, I would never attempt this wet. I think you'd be in some sad shape if you did. Not because of, being able to get through mud, but because of inclines and descents and not being able to control your vehicle with drop-offs would be an issue, and not being able to make it around some of this dead vegetation that, take out a window or a mirror or something. So anyway, I'm still pressing on. It's still super tight. I feel like I'm practicing to go over to Australia and do a walkabout in one of these rigs, considering what this looks like. It looks, something like some of the Australian Highlands. But anyway, I'll check back in with you guys shortly. What's up, guys? Today's video is gonna have to, or this day physically of the trip is gonna have to be a 2-part series, because Let me tell you something. I think I found the coolest and the toughest overland trail in the U.S. I don't know what's on me, all kinds of stuff. You talk about getting ready to put your gear to the test. This trail is small and it's tough, and yeah, and here comes another corner, and you should see about what I'm about to go down. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. You can't see it. But right here is a shelf that drops straight off. My life, yeah. So, okay, let me reach down here. All right. So that should tell you something. That shelf is a 14 degree pitch. That's beautiful. Yeah, this is definitely one for the ages. I think this is definitely gonna be a battleground. And now I've got some kind of craziness going on here. Let's lock the rear in front. Yeah, I guess you guys can hear my exhaustion. I wasn't ready for this. I wish I would have been. Don't get me wrong, I'm having the greatest time of my life. This is definitely the trails I look for, and this channel looks for. And I can assure you, this is a tough one. And I thank God for this diesel, that's for sure. Now I heard that new Bronco Raptor is going to have similar output and power with horsepower and torque, and that's going to be the first thing they make. It's going to be capable of rivaling this. Because let me tell you something, if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be pulling this 2,500 pound rock through this stuff as easily as I am. That's for sure. It's definitely made it a lifesaver for sure. And I just did that in 4-wheel high just with my lockers on. And that's what's so nice about being able to manually select the lockers when I want to. Because instead of having to be in 4 low, I don't need to be in 4 low. I've already got it in first. If I have the use of my lockers front and rear, there's a lot of stuff I can pull straight through because of the low end torque of this Gladiator diesel that I don't need to be in low because then it makes it just so herky jerky. Whereas just being in 4 high and locking your 2 front and rear lockers just makes a breeze of some of these things. But I mean, you can see how tight it is. I'm just kind of basically waiting to find a good place that's maybe somewhat established that I can use as a campground, because, you know, I'm not sure what it's called, but there's a certain thing that grows on the ground here, and I know you're not supposed to you know, get off the trail because of it. It's this little black, I don't know if it's a organism or a fungus or what, but all I know is you're not supposed to step on it, walk on it, drive on it. And this is a horrible turn right here. Yeah. And because of that, I'm just not willing to go and just park anywhere. Most places that have been, you know, large enough for the Gladiator and Coleman have definitely had that stuff present. And so I'm just trying to find a place that potentially is at least, you know, ringed out where people have been driving through there and parking, and then I'll just go ahead and use that. But anyway, hang on, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch up to you in a little bit. Look at this right here. This is what it's been the whole time.
So unfortunately, this is a mistake by myself. There was a situation where I was just really exhausted from the trail that day, and you know, the issues that we were having with a super tight track. And unfortunately, when I finally got out of the trail and made it to the trailhead, to the highway, and was airing up. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So unfortunately, I didn't get that last bit of recording done and actually camping for the night and my thoughts about it. But it was an epic trail, and honestly, if I had more time, I would have finished it. I think I want to return again to that specific trail and run it again. And yes, it was super tight and challenging, but I think next time I want to be able to hit it early enough that I can enjoy the trail and finish it to completion, because it is a historical wagon trail, and that to me means something.